Hello students, lecture 44. In this lecture we will discuss about that how many political parties are suitable for different democracies. So that is one party democracy, two party democracy or multi-party democracy. So first of all, that is one party democracy. In some countries there is only one party is allowed to control and run the government, like China. So there are only one party system. So people, candidates within the party contest elections, and legally people are free to form political parties, but election commission in such countries does not allow free competition in elections. Second is two party democracy. In some countries, that is, power is usually changed between the two political parties continuously or alternately. When parties contest elections, so power may change, ruling parties may get defeated, and opposition party may get elected. So such country is called two party democracy. Examples of two party democracy are USA, UK, etc. Now comes to the multi party democracy. In a democracy, any group of citizens is free to form a political party. In this formal sense, there are large number of political parties are emerging year by year. In India, if we speak about India is a multi-party democracy, more than 750 parties registered with the election commission. But usually only a handful parties are actively participating in the elections. This is called multi-party democracy. Other examples other than India, examples of multi-party system are Belgium, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, etc. Now with multi-party system, since multi-party system started developing in India from 1990 onwards, then a new kind of system developed with the multi-parties. That was the alliance system. So alliance system is basically, in India there are three alliances working. In India there are basically three alliances are working. Since 2004, that is UPA, NDA and UPA. NDA, National Democratic Alliance, led by Bharatiya Janata Party, and UPA, United Progressive Alliance, that is led by Indian National Congress. Both these are coming up from 2004 onwards. The third alliance is called the Third Front. That is the Third Front. Now, whatever regional parties or national parties which are left, they have joined hand together to contest elections and give a competition to UPA and NDA. The purpose of alliance is to defeat one or the other larger party in elections. After that, now we will discuss about the challenges to political parties. So first challenge to political party is the dynastic succession. Dynastic succession. Dynastic succession meaning is that political parties control is held by one person from the one family, and it keep on going. Many political parties are there in India whose top party leaders are from one family only. It is called dynastic challenge of dynastic succession. It never means that other members are not competent enough, but since it is a kind of system developed of dynastic succession, so parties are facing this challenge. Second challenge is lack of internal democracy. All over the world there is a tendency in political parties towards concentration of power in few hands at the top level. So parties do not keep membership register, parties do not hold or organize internal meetings, parties do not organize internal elections for the candidates to contest elections. and ordinary member of a party do not get sufficient information on what is happening inside the party. Moreover, such people are not allowed to take part in party's internal matters. So this is a challenge of lack of internal democracy. Third challenge is of use of money and muscle power. Large and old political parties are having large amount of money as their party fund. So it poses a challenge to young and new registered political parties or the small political parties. And muscle power, many a times here muscle means the criminal connections of the candidates. Many a times some political parties give ticket to the people who have their criminal connections, although there is a law that such people should not be allowed, but hence their such link is not proved, so they get the benefit, and by that criminal connection they influence voters as well as candidate who is contesting election in parallel to him. So that is called money and muscle. And money is also used, although there is a limit set by constitution on use of money in elections, that is 25 lakhs for MLA and 75 lakhs for MP expenditure, but as a matter of fact the candidates spend crores of rupees in campaigning before elections. Fourth challenge is the lack of meaningful choice. Lack of meaningful choice. While discussing national political parties, we had seen that many parties have their ideologies very similar. Their ideologies are very similar. They do not provide clear-cut mandate to the voters. So a common man remain confused. So this is how they put a candidate into confusion, and a meaningful choice is lagged. In recent years also, one more thing we can discuss over here. In recent years, there had been a decline in the ideological differences. Now, political parties, those who are daughter or mother parties or large parties, their ideology difference is very marginal, is very small. So, people, especially the voters, do not make out difference between the party. Such example of Labour Party and Conservative Party in Britain. These are the only two political parties which are contesting elections and forming government alternately or so. That is the Labour Party and Conservative Party. So their ideology is very narrow. They are with the very less difference. In India also there are many parties whose economic policies have reduced to the marginal difference. Sometimes people cannot elect different leaders either, because the same set of leaders keep shifting from one party to another party. This is biggest challenge in Indian democracy or the Indian political parties. One more thing about Indian system of elections. In India, voters are divided into two categories. Indian voter are divided into two categories. One category selects the political party. For them, candidate doesn't matter. They just support blindly to the political party. Second type of voter is they select voters only. Whatever political party, they don't matter about it. So this is also a challenge. This is also a drawback of our political system. So these are the challenges faced by political parties in India. Now next is these are the challenges, drawbacks of our political party system. So next is how to correct them. How can political parties be reformed? So political parties can be reformed through various ways. The first one is political parties reforms may have many suggestions and efforts are put forward. That is by constitution, that MLAs and MPs who are elected once, they should not be allowed to change their party, is called defection. So to this effect, there is an anti-defection law, that once a candidate is elected or lost elections, he or she is not allowed to change party for any kind of benefit from other political party or political group. As per new law, the MLAs or MPs, that is change party, so in that case he or she will lose their legislature seat, and it may help in bringing down such defection. So the first one is defection. Second is Supreme Court passed an order. Here one thing I want to make clear, many times students say that Supreme Court passed a law. Remember, Supreme Court has no authority to pass any law. It is the authority of the legislature. So Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and muscle power. Now it is mandatory for every candidate who contests elections to file an affidavit giving details of his property and criminal cases pending against him or her, if any. This feature helped in reducing the influence of rich and for the criminals. Fourth method is Election Commission also passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational meetings and elections after file their income tax return. Fifth method to reduce it, political parties should be made to regulate to give 1/3 seats to women in elections. That is, a reservation quota should be exercised in elections. Parties must maintain party register of its member. Other than this, there should be state funding of elections. State funding means government must provide money to the parties. The government should give money to parties for expenditure, and it could be given in kind like petrol, paper, telephone, etc. And the suggestions in this are not accepted by political parties. Such suggestions are not accepted by political parties. Now, the one more method to bring reforms is very important. All the above reforms we discussed are related by the Constitution, by Election Commission or so. But now this is how a voter can bring such reform. A common man also can bring such reform. There are some other ways in which parties can be reformed. So one people put pressure on political parties, that is to become a pressure group. This can be done through petitions. Petition means filing complaint through legal ways. Publicity, making propaganda against political parties, wrong policies. Agitations, strikes, marches or bans, etc. Second, political parties can be improved if those who want to join these political parties, means you being a citizen of India has right. So if you think that these are the challenges or they need to be reformed, so you also join political parties and become active member of democracy in India and bring out all these reforms. That's all from this chapter. In next video lecture we will discuss about the summary of this chapter. Thank you very much. Keep on watching.